Super awkward FUN-CHIVE. You're listening to the Super Awkward FUN-CHIVE. Yeah. Welcome to the 7th episode of Super Awkward FUN-CHIVE with your host, Elle, Latham. Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, guys. And I have my first guest, Rye Silverman.
Hello.
Everybody applaud for Rye Silverman, very quietly, like a golf clap. Yes, he's the only one here. We're going to do these in doses, guys. It's a big extravaganza. It's my birthday coming up.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Eventually. But when
We're
you
pretending.
Hear this, yeah.
Yes.
Will it have been your birthday by the time this airs?
Yes.
Did I just ruin showbiz magic by saying it's not airing today that I'm recording? Yes. Yeah, I like that people still do that with podcasts as if the show. They're always like, well, we don't want to tell them this is we pre-record. I'm like, it's a podcast. Unless it's live streaming, you pre-record it. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But apparently people want to act like it's an illusion that we're doing a live talk show.
Right. Yeah. I don't know of any live podcasts off the top of my head.
I can think of a couple that have done like live streaming episodes, but I can't think of
for like events, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, my friend had one where like it was a company where it would be live stream as like internet radio, and then they would re-release it later as a podcast. But I don't know if that's kind of hybrid. Yeah, I guess it counts though, right? I don't know. I'm not in charge of the podcasting authority.
Who is in charge of the podcasting authority? It's not Howard Stern, but it should be.
No, I think it was Adam Curry. Is that who invented podcasting? But I don't know if he's in charge of it. I'm not sure if he actually has like the inside scoop.
I remember when it was coming up, like, and people heard of it. It was sort of like Facebook. Like, it was there, but people kind of didn't take to it quite quickly.
I actually have friends of mine in Ohio who had a podcast for a while that was getting really popular, and they basically stopped doing it right when podcasts exploded. Like, if they had just held on for like maybe another 6 months to a year, they would have been right in the boom. But instead, and they had fans. Like, in fact, a couple years after podcasts, and once in a while they would put out an episode, like maybe like twice a year at the most, and then they kind of faded off again. And if they actually, even after like they kind of stopped doing it, there was even a couple of like best podcast lists that would still list their show, and then it just everyone faded into obscurity. So
that's a shame.
The Bill and Dan Show, R.I.P.
Let's take a moment of silence to remember the Bill and Dan Show. Okay, that's not
dead
right.
Air.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of silence involving the Bill and Dan Show because they've been off the air for 3 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Let's not give them any more.
If anything,
that's actually insulting.
Yeah, if anything, we should have a moment of noise for the Bill and Dan Show.
Woo!
It was a good show. that's
We're having a party.
Yeah. I would love it if somebody listening to this show was also an old Bill and Dan Show like listener. I'm like their worlds collided. It's like that episode of 30 Rock where they brought the cast of Night Court in.
Right. Oh my gosh, I loved Night Court when I was a kid.
Me
I
too.
love the bald guy.
Oh, Bull, yeah.
I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was great.
How do you forget a guy named Bull?
He was fun. Tall.
He was very tall.
Tall, bald, and handsome.
And don't forget John Larroquette.
John.
Sassing up.
He was also on Empty Nest.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
And the John Larroquette Show.
Mm-hmm. Well, that one too. I'm just stating the obvious.
And he was on some sort of, I think, Boston Legal or
and then
one of those.
Harry's World. No, was it Harry's World that Harry was in?
No.
What was the character Harry in? I feel like they spun him off.
Oh, he was in Dave's World, and he played
Dave's
the
World,
TV
right.
fictionalized version of Dave Barry.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I got him confused with his character on Night Court.
Yeah.
But they weren't that far away from each other.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Anderson pretty much has one speed, and it's Harry Anderson.
Where did he go?
I don't know. I know he was on that 30 Rock Night Court reunion show.
Where did everyone go?
That's the last thing I remember of him. I think John Larroquette's the one who's really kind of stuck to his guns and stuck around.
Judge Reinhold should come back. He's great.
Yeah, whatever happened to Judge Reinhold? And stop making Beverly Hills Cop movies?
He should have his own show, the Judge Reinhold Show, and people should think, like the kids should think that it's an actual judge show, and then he like surprises them with a sitcom or something.
Well, they had there was the future Arrested Development had the fake. It was just called Judge Reinhold. It was like a people's court, but he was playing himself. But
you
as
should
a
do
judge.
that again. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They should do that for real.
Yes.
And they should make Homeless Dad, the movie starring Tom Jane.
Yeah.
So what's this kid back?
Oh gosh, yes.
What is floating in your cup? Is that like Is it like is it like reusable ice?
Yeah.
It's very. I thought at first that was like really.
I don't give it to people because it's weird.
That's fine. It seems like really cubed boba for
it's
a second,
from like
but not
the dollar store.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug. Get ready for the plug. 99-cent store. It's from the 99-cent store.
Hey, you guys, do you have?
There is a
99
cent store.
You should go to the store.
On Willoughby.
If you have 99 cents, you can buy at least one thing,
Mm-hmm.
unless you have to pay taxes.
I didn't know about the 99-cent store when I first moved here. I knew about the dollar store on the East Coast.
Yeah.
In Georgia. But I had never seen a 99-cent store.
The
I was like,
store was
weird.
like, hey, you guys have $1? Well, we're going to undercut you guys.
Well, the thing is, like, when I moved here, I thought that things were going to get more expensive. So it was kind of surprising that I was paying less at the 99-cent store.
LA is full of surprises. People think that it's
full of homeless people, really rich people,
right.
And then the people who shop at the 99-cent store.
But I bet you, really, when you factor in like state sales tax, I bet you costs more to shop at the 99-cent store in Los Angeles than it does to shop at the dollar store in Georgia.
Probably, or the Family Dollar.
Oh, Family
Plug
Dollar.
for the Family Dollar. They don't get enough plugs on podcasts.
No, they really don't.
I
think they're usually scoffed at. I feel like that's more of an anti-Family Dollar attitude that people have.
Yeah.
People who have podcasts are arrogant and in their ivory towers, and they're like, I don't shop at a Family Dollar. I might shop at a Ross or a...
yeah, I don't even think they have
Odd
Rosses
Lots.
in Atlanta.
Probably not. They might have been Odd Lots. Or Big Lots, is that what it is now?
Big Lots, they have Big
It wasn't
Lots.
Odd Lot. Now it's called Big Lots. They have a Walmart.
Shout out to Georgia. I don't miss you, but you're there.
But it is on your mind.
You're on
hate
my
myself
mind
for that
sometimes. I say that all the time, don't worry.
It's cool.
Whenever I introduce myself as someone who's from Georgia, I say it's on my mind, but I don't really think of it too much. You know.
The thing about Georgia is it's one of the weird states where I never did stand up in Georgia, but we would drive through Georgia and do stand up in Florida.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was one of those things where it's one of the few places where they still haven't quite gotten the hang of having restaurants be open late on the freeway. So there was like a 5-hour drive there where you can't stop anywhere because everything's the only places you can stop at were truck stops, and that would be it. Even the truck stop attached to the fast food restaurant, the restaurant will be closed after like 11 o'clock.
I think Waffle House is open forever.
Well, yeah.
Shout out to Waffle House. Shout out to Ryan's Steakhouse. Shout out to the Golden Corral. Shout out to Cracker Barrel. We love the Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
And Folks, which used to be Po Folks, but then they got their shit together.
And they stopped being Po.
Yeah.
They raised their prices, so they were now just Folks.
Yeah, they were catering to the Po Folks. Now they're catering to a higher...
I want to give Bojangles a shout out.
Bojangles
Chicken. I feel like that's as far as fast food chicken places go.
Go ahead.
I feel like Bojangles doesn't get the day in the sun that it deserves.
I didn't know this is going to be an episode all about Georgia, but hey, let's do it.
It's about time.
Ryan's is great though. Seriously, go to Ryan's. Shoney's is alright. Whatever.
I don't think I've ever been to a Ryan's Steakhouse, but when I was a kid, because my full name is Ryan and not Rye, I used to actually.
Oh, it is.
And I used to actually think that it was named after me because I was like 5 and I would just see my name on signs.
I thought you were named after the bread.
No.
Okay.
No, but I have definitely heard that line before.
Yeah. Well, that was my only opening.
I always say the whiskey. Well, what's funny is...
you did my line. I did yours.
Yeah. The people who...
Now let's get some cocaine and we'll both do some lines.
Do it!
Shout out to cocaine!
Cocaine!
No, we're kidding. No, don't do cocaine.
Don't do cocaine.
Don't
do meth. Now,
Molly.
Georgia,
Do Molly.
Do Molly.
No, don't do any of that.
Get the blue meth. It's made by a gentleman by the name of Heisenberg.
Yeah.
That's
that's his name, remember it.
Only reference point.
Just
meth
remember
is
that
what
name.
I've seen television do.
Don't forget to say it when you meet him.
Yeah.
He really gets mad if you don't say it.
He does. He really gets angry. He
will
tells
kill you.
He'll actually say my name several times until you say it. So
in a very dramatic,
yeah,
like
he actually sings the Destiny's Child song "Say My Name," which is not what they did on the show.
I want to see Walt White singing "Say My Name." Someone put that together online. I'm gonna look it up.
I want to see Bryan Cranston doing anything. Like Bryan Cranston.
I'm gonna see if there's like a mashup.
I bet you somebody might have done it at some point.
This is the time in the show where I look up something online, because I do that every time, don't I, guys?
Didn't we have something earlier that I was like, well, you should probably find out what happened to Harry Anderson while you got the phone out.
Right. Oh, immediately when I put Walt White in it says, Walt White, I am the one who knocks. And then Walt White Pizza, after Walt White Jr.
Oh, my gosh.
I would put pizza before Jr., but that's just me.
Oh, yeah, because you threw the pizza on the roof of the house.
Oh, yes! Okay.
I don't know if it's getting picked up too much on the audio.
No, everything is.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. We can afford that. Okay, great. Nice.
That was Walter White and the Heisenbergs doing
Say My Name
by
and then
Destiny's Child.
For good measure, we gotta give the girls their time. That's all we can afford, guys.
That's all we got.
That's all. I'm not getting sued from Vivo. Shout out to Vivo. Don't sue me.
Don't put that patent troll out here. Make him take us down.
It's not like I'm getting paid for this shit.
Costing you money.
Unlike
actually.
Destiny's Child, every time that song plays or someone says "Say My Name," they get $1.
Yeah. Say my name. Oh, it's the I have to get them. I stopped before I finished names, so I don't really have to. Money.
No more name saying.
No more saying of names.
Don't say
it's
it.
Like Destiny's Child is like to the phrase of please repeat my moniker back to me is basically it's the version of like Happy Birthday, where that Happy Birthday song is actually copywritten, and if you play that birthday song on anything, you actually have to pay royalties to the people who wrote it.
You can say the first part of Happy Birthday.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
The Happy Birthday title,
yeah,
but
the
you
phrase
can't
Happy
say,
Birthday is not copywritten, but the musical
can't
song.
say the song. You can't. I could say Happy Birthday to you.
Yeah.
You know, Happy Birthday to you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't.
But you should say that to me since it's my birthday.
But if I do it now, we'll be actually in violation of that, and we have to pay rights for it. So I can't.
Speaking of the government, they shut down.
Yeah.
But then they're back.
Yeah. Government,
how do we feel?
They're not unlike Twinkies. Like, they went away for a while, and they came back, and they're even less satisfying than...
And less productive.
Right.
And make you sick.
Right, and a lot of people lost their jobs because of it, so it really is like...
Where's the money? Give them the money back.
I feel like I should get a credit on my paychecks for the last few weeks for any federal taxes paid.
Yeah.
Any taxes rendered since the shutdown, I should
That would make too much sense.
Because I'm a Time Warner cable subscriber.
Me too.
And when Time Warner had that feud with CBS, they...
Shout out to Time Warner, guys.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Well, actually, yeah, because they did the right thing. Because when they were feuding with CBS, they didn't have Showtime available, but I'm a Showtime subscriber. Right. So I actually got credit on my bills for no Showtime. So I didn't have to pay for Showtime. I wasn't getting it. But the government were like, we're going to make you pay for the government even though there's no government. So it's kind of ridiculous. I'm against that.
I don't like it either. What about that stenographer? We got to talk about her.
I don't think I know this one.
She's a crazy person.
I don't think I know this
I could put it online for you. The Christian Science Monitor will help me. They're always very helpful, which is surprising because I wouldn't imagine something so Christian being so helpful in terms of information.
Well, that's because Christian scientists are so, like, they're like one of those groups that doesn't believe in like medicine and stuff like that. Like they think that if you're sick, like
they
you have to
have
believe
really
in God to heal
good movie reviews. Amazing.
They do actually. I will say that.
And Dexter, they had a review of Dexter. They had like a clip from Dexter. I'm like, Dexter, really? It's Christian? Okay. Random.
Maybe it's because there's a whole season of Dexter where the murders were all based around revelations, and they're like, this show gets it. This show gets what. You know what? I don't know anything about the Christian Science faith, so maybe I shouldn't keep talking about things that they're into or not into. I just know they're one of those groups that doesn't. I know they're one of those groups that doesn't believe in like medicine because they believe that like you have to have God heal you. Unless you are a Christian Scientist and I am completely getting it wrong, in which case I apologize for misrepresenting your faith.
Oh, he will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. She raved as she took the dais. And
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Then she's like, don't touch me! As the officers started to pull her away by the arms.
Yeah.
This is not one nation under God. It never was. Had it been, the Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God.
Freemasons don't go against God. You have to believe in God to be a Freemason.
And then it says, of the 39 men who signed the Constitution, 13 were reportedly Freemasons. You cannot serve two masters.
They're not secret. That's a fact that they were Freemasons, and they're not like... It's not really like a...
She's well-liked, apparently.
Yeah, but it's like... Freemasons... Well, not anymore.
Well, she was.
Like, Freemasons, like, they're not... I mean, they have secretive practices, but at this point, Freemasons are basically like a lodge. Like, they're just like guys who hang around and drink cider. I don't know if they drink cider, but they like drink and they play poker and like... They're not the Knights Templar plotting to overthrow the world. Like, they're just...
She's like those people who say stuff about the Illuminati. Like,
yeah.
They are not going to do anything to you.
Yeah. There are no lizard men living beneath the Denver airport.
And every Lady Gaga video that ever comes out, someone's like, Illuminati.
Yeah.
And then the Miley Cyrus thing, Illuminati. Like,
Yeah.
no, they're just being
More
whores.
like Illuminati.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, the Miley Cyrus thing was interesting too.
Yeah,
to some people.
I really think that she's in on all of it. That's why I think it's so great that people are getting so up in arms about how she's ruining everything, and like I like that they keep trying to present her as this like innocent thing that doesn't know what she's doing. I'm like, she totally knows what she's doing. She's playing it well. She's a smart sap. I'd like her if she stopped putting her tongue out, but otherwise,
that's
it's
annoying.
like, you know, she's aware of what's happening. She's not really being manipulated like people think she is. But
Yeah.
it was overblown.
Yeah. I hate her hair. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
When she was playing,
You know what she looks like is that woman that Sherry Terry plays in Liar Liar when he comes to the office and he has that like secretary. She's like, "What do you think of my new hair?" And he's like, "We're gonna take the focus off your head," or whatever. Like, I don't know what it is, but she has that crazy like.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
hey. It's horrible.
Yeah.
When she was playing Michelle Bachmann in the Takeoff, we did stop the government on SNL, which is the best thing I can think. I think everybody can agree that was the best thing that came out of this government shutdown was that video. This was awesome. SNL is back, yay!
Yeah, that's what's so funny. Cause so many people were like, I haven't seen her episode, but I heard it was good. And so many people just like knee jerk when she was on the show. Were like, "Oh, Miley Cyrus, she's gonna ruin SNL." Blah blah blah. But the thing is, I heard she was great, and like you know, I remember when Taylor Swift hosted and was a musical guest, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be terrible, some dumb teeny bopper." She was great. I never cared about her. I wasn't into her or against her, but she was not on my radar. But I thought she was so good on that show that I kind of like I have somewhat respect for her now, and I actually will listen to some of her music once in a while because I thought she was.
Katy
so good.
Perry was not great.
Well, yeah,
like she didn't do the best production value she could do for her performances. It was lackluster, and I don't know about her song anymore. Honestly, I mean, there was this whole hubbub about it being like Brave by Sarah Bareilles, but I mean, I have had instances at work where I work as a fundraiser, and we'll be listening to the radio, which is so much better than listening to somebody's crappy CD. It's not even funny. I'm glad that CD player broke. Oh, it's the best thing that ever happened. Anyway, that was awesome. I was like, thank you, God. No more ridiculous jazz music. It's not even at the top of the charts.
Oh, I used to work at a store. I worked at a Brookstone where we sold like a couple of CDs, but not many. So we'd have to play only the albums that we had all the time, and they would just be like, like jazz or like some sort of like soundscape CD. And if we got an artist in, like we had this Tom Jones one, but it's like 10 Tom Jones songs. And by the way, there's only about one good Tom Jones song, and it's not unusual. And there's other ones that are okay, but there's some that are just awful and dreary and like, what's the one that's also good is Sex Bomb or whatever. Like, and What's Me Pussycat.
On that note, Chaka Khan, like I love Chaka Khan, whatever. But if I hear I Am Every Woman one more time, I'm going to be every woman and beat the living shit out of the person who's playing that CD. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that song is so...
I'm going to speak for every woman when I say, fucking turn that shit off. So don't bring that shit into my work.
My roommate had a friend who Chaka Khan temporarily moved into a house behind his because she was like having her house worked on, so she rented the house to temporary. And he said that he had to call the cops all the time because she had like nonstop parties and it would just be loud all the time. And for some reason, when I think about it, I imagine that all she did was sing "I Am Every Woman" over and over and over again. That's what.
Shout out to Chaka Khan.
Yeah. Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan. Woo, Chaka Khan. No, that's. I don't know. But I was saying about Brave and Roar. Is that I was listening to the radio and Brave would come on and I thought it was Roar. And then Roar would come on later and I thought it was Brave. And I was like, well, that's a good sign for there to be a case there. But then it was also like they're different, but only a tiny bit different. And I don't love the lyrics to Roar, I'm going to be honest. That's what really irks me about the song. It's not so much the musicality being similar to Brave. It's that it's just inane to me.
Yeah, I don't really even like... bottom that kind of stuff anymore. Like luckily at the station I listen to the radio doesn't play that stuff, so it's like it's not even on my radar. I'm like That Friday Night song got in my head for a while.
Oh my gosh, I hate that song.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
I'm sorry. It reminds me too much of Friday. And it has freaking Rebecca Black in the video.
Yeah.
I cannot support this. Oh, speaking of which, Chinese food.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know. What up?
There's a song called Chinese food.
Yeah, I thought that was the weirdest shift to anything, and I was like, what? "Oh, is it that one?" Yeah, yes. A friend of mine was actually really upset about it, and like she was talking about people were sending her links to it because she's Asian, and she was talking about how like offensive it was and how like she couldn't even get through it.
It's not even Chinese. It's like some of it's Japanese, and it's just like so. Panda Express, did they need the free publicity?
I don't know if that really helps them too much.
I don't know. Yeah. They probably were like,
hey,
leave us out of it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to mention us and have a panda in a suit, and you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're good.
We're good. We're okay. Oh, okay.
We're doing all right.
You're going to keep doing that. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Could you not do that? Oh, you're going to keep doing that.
Okay, we're going to have to send our lawyers over there, okay?
Yeah.
Just to calm things down, cease and desist, okay? All right, so
yeah.
I think they should. I thought the Asian Girls song was pretty bad.
It was pretty awful. Yeah.
But then to see like this guy taking advantage of this little girl and making her sing these horrible song lyrics, it's just like the worst. It's worse because she don't know no better.
Yeah.
She probably getting a little bit of pay.
Probably not much.
But not that much. But she's trying to work. She's trying to do what she needs to do to get her money.
Yeah.
And she knows that it's going to be a viral hit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so...
I don't think there's a whole lot of money in viral hits, though. I feel like viral hits, the whole point is that it spreads elsewhere.
But he's going to get most of it.
Yeah.
Which is sucky. And he sucks.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Dude, you fucking suck. Stop writing songs. You're not good at it.
No, you're probably mean about it, too.
Stop producing stupid songs with bad beats. You're black. Offensive. Act like it. I said it. I said it. They're supposed to be. If we're going to get racist. Which that song is racist. So I'm going to be racist back to you guys.
I'm not sure that's the way to do it. I'm not sure meaning racist with more racist is really the way to solve
that's the only way to deal with
this
situation.
You can get back out of the loop once you've done that.
My listeners know from the first episode that what they're getting into. So if you hear the first episode, then you know that there's a little bit of racism in the world and on this show.
I have learned from Avenue Q that everyone's a little bit racist sometimes.
It's true. I wasn't trying to be racist, but neither was he.
Most people who are being racist aren't actually trying to be racist. I don't think most people are going like, "How can I be racist today?" And then they come home. Well, I was a successful oppressor.
No, the thing is, I think that he's trying to be like Kanye West. He's trying to be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool dude who hangs out with 14-year-old girls and does like
R. Kelly,
songwriting, doesn't touch them, but has weird relationshipy kind of roles in their videos where he just pops up out of nowhere and you're like, why is he in a panda suit? Why is he at their slumber party? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Why is there a panda walking around? And it's not even Panda Express. It's some other cheap restaurant. And you're just like, why is there a panda if there's no actual Panda Express? They can't afford the Panda Express. They can afford the panda suit. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Barry doesn't get it either.
I haven't seen it, so I don't get all the references to what's happening in the video. I just told you my friend saw it.
Well, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And there's actual Chinese food.
Oh, okay.
And a kid on the register.
Pretty easy to get, so.
Which is also a kid on the register with no actual family members in the background was kind of weird to me. Because, you'll see kids.
Yeah, I don't know.
In real restaurants.
Yeah, I mean,
but you'll see kids in real restaurants.
Right, but it's don't context
registers.
Video.
But usually their parents are around or whatever, their family. Yeah. It's a family business.
Yeah.
But in this video, there's no family. They can only afford the kid. I don't know. It was just like, why is it a couple of kids and she's not saying anything? She's just smiling. It's sad. But Psy, it makes me have a way better appreciation for what Psy does.
Yeah.
Seeing this stupid shit.
I don't know if it does for me, but I'll go ahead and give it. I haven't seen what they've done.
I don't like the new song that he did. I mean, he had a one-hit wonder, let's be honest. The Gangnam Style.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Gangnam Style is way better than all this stupid shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's not saying a lot.
It's not saying a lot, but it's saying enough.
Yeah.
I got a little piece of hair in my mouth. I believe it was my own.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
It'd be really awful if it wasn't.
So, I think we are done.
Yeah, I think that works for me. Actually, we do have to roll in a minute.
So, just gonna get your Twitter information and your not Facebook, but like,
sure.
Websites or whatever. I like to promote my guests.
Yeah, Twitter is really easy. It's just at Rye Silverman, RyeSilverman. So like, as if it was at the bread Silverman, Rye Silverman. And then I have a blog on Tumblr called chicklikmeblog.tumblr.com.
I have a Tumblr blog, but I haven't done anything on it yet. I don't have time. I use Facebook way more.
Yeah, I use Facebook a lot. I mean, if people
and
want to
not
look
Snapchat
me on Facebook,
at all.
too,
Snapchat is not happening. But I'm on Snapchat. Shout out to Snapchat. I haven't been on you yet, but I'm on you. I'm on you, but I'm not on you.
Yeah.
And
Instagram, Rye Silverman as well. So yeah, any of those
I'm
things.
on Instagram as well.
Things and...
At Elle Latham. Is it at? I don't even know.
No, I think it's just a username.
Elle Latham.
Yeah.
I'm at Elle Latham on Twitter, guys. And I'm also at Denny's on Fridays. No, I'm not.
Do you repeat your credits every single time you have a guest repeat their credits, or do you just do it one time per episode?
I do it one time, but I usually do it at the end.
They're probably going like, she really wants to make sure we know which Twitter she's at.
I just figured, like, when you're giving your information, it feels weird if I don't give my information and I leave you out to hang out and dry.
I don't know if it does that. I think if you're saying, here's where you can find me at, I think that I'm okay.
Well, the thing is, like, I might not have time because it's a big show.
There you go. Maybe I might end up being your last guest, not your first guest.
Yeah, you don't know. So
you might have said first guest when we were recording.
I'm gonna have to
record it earlier.
Totally edit this.
May have changed it.
Yeah.
Or did we just blow your mind, podcast world? Well, cool. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for
do have to cut
coming
it off,
to my house
it's
and being on my show.
Thank you for the glass of water. It was
Thank you.
I will say this: Elle promised me a glass of filtered water, and you guys. She delivered.
Came through.
It tasted filtered. It was a glass of water. It was hydrating.
It's really nice. I also chilled it for you.
It was chilled. I will say that. And she didn't even promise to be chilled. She just brought it in.
That's just how I roll.
That's how she rolls.
That's how I fucking roll.
That's how you pour.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
That's how poor people roll. Here is my second and third guest for this wonderful 7th episode of Super Awkward Funcast, Katsy Chappell and Katy Baker. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi,
joining us.
Thank you for
joining me.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you
Next
so
week,
much.
but this is
Yes.
your
Thank you.
I don't want you walking anywhere on your birthday because I read your Facebook updates and you're like, I'm walking from San Vicente. I'm like, I got a car. I'll come get you.
Aw,
She's
that's
like,
sweet.
we're walking 5 miles home. I'm like, where are you? West Hollywood. Okay, you're safe. You're safe to walk
Right.
home. The dudes will help you. Go on, girl.
One time I was driving in Santa Monica and I was like on the phone with somebody from home that I used to babysit for, and I was like asking her, like how are the kids? And this crazy crackhead jumped out in the middle of the road and I almost hit him. So there's danger lurking in every corner of the Hollywoods.
There is
That's good to
danger.
know.
Just
When I lived in my car, for a while when I didn't have a home, and totally on my own. I had a 40-hour-a-week job. I had a car, payments on, but a roommate I had decided it was okay for her son, his girlfriend, and their one child, and their soon-to-be new child to move into a 2-bedroom apartment. So I bowed out and got and thought about it, and I said, okay, I can make this happen. I got a job. At the time I got a cell phone. I got a P.O. box, made it look like I had an address, and I put everything in storage. And I would sleep. I would sleep in my car on different streets, and I found out Los Feliz was awesome in the neighborhood. West Hollywood, not so awesome.
No.
Because guys will stop by they could clearly see there was somebody in there because the windows are fogged up from me sleeping and breathing. And they would knock on the window, hey, and I'd be like, I'm a girl. And they would walk off. They would walk away. I'm so sorry.
I'm so disappointed.
I learned not to sleep in West Hollywood because the dudes think you're a dude waiting for a hookup, and I was just wanting to sleep up. I just wanted to sleep.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I learned my lesson.
Right.
So happy birthday, and don't
Thank you.
walk
And
too far.
don't fall asleep in a car in West Hollywood.
Don't
That's
do it.
what I learned from
Don't
that.
do it unless you have a penis.
Yeah. I should get a penis.
Well, and even if you have a penis, it's a matter of what you're really looking for while sleeping in West Hollywood, I think. Because I could have a penis and I'm not want any shenanigans, and
That's
still
true.
just need to sleep in West Hollywood.
You could, but dudes won't take you for that. They were like, "You got a penis? Come on, girl. Come on, girl. That is what we like. We are schlong men.
They're pushy there.
They
They're
are,
pushy
aren't
in
they?
West Hollywood.
Hey, you think women are pushy? Them are some of the pushiest little men I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
They're like little Chihuahua dogs, only in big folk size.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of chihuahuas.
Nice segue.
No, that's a horrible segue.
Well, I could set you up. No.
SNL was in the news this week.
Yes, they were.
With stupid ass Keenan.
Okay, but at least it was, I mean, like, I'm not going to defend it because fuck you. But at least it was Keenan that said it, because if anybody else had said it, it would have been.
I don't.
But then there was
coming.
also Jay Farrell was he came out saying that
he came out he's gay.
no
TV.
Jay Farrell is not gay, guys.
Okay. Who is Jay
But
Farrell?
he plays Obama in the sketches.
Yes.
And so he said it would be nice to have black women in the cast.
It would be, but
he was disappointed.
That would require you hiring other than white, predominantly white, not high class, but white Brit males who are writing. They're writing. You've got to get some other ethnicities. I don't care if they're Hispanic or what have you. Other genders, get some gay guys on board. Somebody who can get an in there.
I've noticed a lot of
male.
like anti-gay sort of
it is
vibes
anti-gay
from SNL in the last few years. Too.
Truthfully, I was contacted by channel FXX or something like that
cool.
to put up to send them a 5-minute something rant on why I'm ready for SNL. And truthfully, I thought about it and I'm like, really? No. There are people who are ready. Yeah. And I would love a chance at it. Yes, I got characters, but it's writing. You gotta get, we can audition all we want, all of us. But if they're writing, white males are writing, you're not gonna get it. And especially when you got Keenan, who can androgynously play all the black women that they write characters for. And if, in my humble opinion, Saturday Night Live is palatable porn. They don't treat the white female characters on there. If you ever see them, they're already showing their boobs or showing their, like that Molly Shannon who used to come in and fall all over the place with the big panties. It's like they make you guys look bad. And I think America doesn't really want to see black women in that position, so why have them on the show? If they were needed and wanted on that show, it would happen because folks would stop watching. They're not going to put black women on there when when they're getting the numbers. They're getting them.
What about Nadia, the Indian woman that's on there?
Naseem Pedrad?
Or that's her name.
Naseem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, she doesn't get a lot of
she doesn't.
roles.
But see, a lot of that has to do with being with the writers, too.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
you can't just sit back and wait for somebody to write something for
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, you have to write it. Yeah.
That's how all of those people have blown up in real life.
Because
exactly.
they're working with
They've had
writers
like
and
what if they
writing
had 3 or 4 black women on, and one of them can't even really be called black because she, Minnie Riperton's daughter, what was it? My Rudolph. She's more white than Obama is, so she doesn't really classify with that. Hair like yours, Elle, and yours. So it's like, again, when people stop purchasing products from advertisers who advertise on SNL because of the fact they want to see other colors will happen. Lorne Michaels will lay down the line and get some people on there, but right now
they
don't need it.
I mean, SNL historically hasn't. You know what I mean? Like they
Because
really
it's a boys' club.
It's a boys' club.
But In Living Color did, and then Living Color was coming back, and then the whole thing was.
Did it fall?
That fucking sucks. I hate that. I really wanted to see it come back.
I mean, people want to see like it's Americans like Coca-Cola. Every time you open a bottle of Coca-Cola, you want to taste the same. SNL has been that way forever. So we need like a competitor to SNL.
Yeah,
like
Mad TV, but Mad TV didn't last very long.
Yeah, so
but
it's
they had a lot
to
of
be
diversity.
But to be
and Key and Peele is trying to come up.
You're beating a dead horse to try to get any other ethnicities and what they have on there on SNL because Lorne Michaels likes the white characters.
That's also. I mean, and I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
People are saying they aren't ready for the show, and he was saying like they just aren't ready.
He doesn't. How does he know that?
But that's the thing I'm saying is there are scouts that go out and decide.
Yeah.
So Lorne Michaels isn't the one that's saying no.
They're not even
scouts that are going out are the ones that are
They came to
saying
iOS too.
True.
Like, a lot of my friends are ready. very ready, and
Did
they still didn't choose any of them.
Yeah, see, because they're.
But also, in an ensemble, it has a lot to do with personalities.
Yeah.
And what
chemistry.
personality fits.
Sure.
And so that's also something, like when everybody was pissed off about 50 Shades of Grey and who got cast.
Oh, yeah.
Like originally,
That's so stupid.
that guy was cast, and everybody was
Charlie.
like, no, we should make Ryan Gosling Christian Grey. And the people were like, you have to understand that it's availability and chemistry.
Sure.
And, like, there's so
And
many
wanting
other
to
things.
do it.
Other factors.
It just needs to be like a conscious
And then all this
decision
stuff about
going into the
Matt
scouting.
Bomer, like everybody wants Matt Bomer and like Ian Somerhalder as the character, and they haven't expressed any interest
desire.
in being in that
Yeah,
film.
people just love to complain about things that
And
they
that
have
seems
no
to be the
control
new
over.
like thing, and that
Because you can hide behind a keyboard.
That's
Exactly.
why I did do the FXX thing. I
Yeah.
thought about it. They said you can get it in by midnight. And I sit up there and I'm in my pajamas, and I was actually going to film a piece and go what my thoughts were, and I went, who matters unless it's going straight to Lauren Green. I brought a Bonanza reference. Sorry, that's how old I am. Lauren Michaels.
school.
Sorry, two I do's. One's dead. No,
Yeah.
but I thought. Forget about it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I mean, you could possibly get cast in SNL, right? And then
I don't. I'm ancient.
But the schedule, like you go in on a Tuesday at 3 and then stay there until Saturday, and like I don't want that life.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want that.
And that's also another thing. Is
They
that-
think they want it.
Yeah,
they think they want the
until you get
fame.
there.
They want the
Until you get
fame,
there.
and they want like what.
I mean, but it's prestigious. Like it's the most prestigious.
Sure.
I mean, as far as recent history of comedy, it's like to be
Yeah.
on SNL is. I was brought up at Second City in Chicago, and so they had SCTV, and that's where everybody went and did SNL, and so it's such a huge thing.
Yeah.
But you know, you get caught up in the romance of it.
I think you're absolutely right. I agree.
So I mean,
agree.
even if you worked your entire life to do it and you finally got it, that doesn't even necessarily mean you want to stay there.
Oh, I know. You get a week
And
of it,
people
you're like,
get
I'm
so
done.
upset. Yeah, they get so upset when their favorite people leave. But it's
Like Donald
it's
Glover
hard.
In a podcast with in What the Fuck, he was saying he had an opportunity to be like audition for SNL or be on something, and he was just like, I don't want that life. I couldn't do it.
There you go.
And so there's just people that
have
the opportunity that are ready or whatever.
Yeah. And I really think Keenan wasn't speaking from just himself. I think that's what the basic consensus is of SNL from Lorne Michaels on down.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be the one that the word
mouthpiece.
started out as.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wasn't
For
it
sure.
just- he's speaking for the group because that's what's going around in their
Right.
writing rooms. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I don't fault him at all.
I fault
and
the
plus,
comments.
you know what? I think he should back up on, like, he's like, I'm not going to play no more women. Goodbye, Keenan. They'll get a black man who will. You know,
Not Jay though. Jay ain't gonna
if
do
you
it.
think about Kenan Thompson, he has done sketch comedy his entire life. He was on All That.
Yeah.
Kel,
He's a pro.
Like it's. Could you imagine that life where like as soon as you realized you had a sense of humor, you were able to do sketch comedy for your entire life?
No,
That's
I'm still searching.
right.
I'm
that-
like
for that
Waldo
voice
on
and
that. I don't know where it is. It pops up infrequently, like those what do you call those chia seeds? You get a sprouty one, you get one that sprouts. I'm like, oh, that's a little sketch, and then it dies. Again, that life, that I'm not into that life. I'm out on stage doing what I'm doing.
Do you stand up?
I'm a stand up, yeah.
I used to run around in the group. I never did stand up in my life, but I used to run around in the group that did stand up. Like James Ponce, who does with Joe Coy, he does every show, and like Jose Sardui. I don't know if you know who that is. Like, I've been to more stand-up shows than I think some beginning stand-up comedians, and I've never done stand-up in my life.
So hard. You got it in you.
No, it's so scary.
It is hard, yeah.
You know, it's like I feel the same way about sketch. I do sketch occasionally, but I get nervous. I'm like, are they going to be up there?
Yeah.
I know when I go up, I have that armor. Like, I'm going up and I'm doing this, and if I suck, I suck, and if I do well, I'm doing well. But I'm always nervous about the give and take in sketch, unless you know the people and you're real comfortable
awkward.
that you can do this. What do you call it? Fall back and they got you.
Yeah, trust fall.
I'm getting nervous.
No, I didn't stand. I remember when I was at Second City, I was at Columbia in Chicago, and I did this thing called Comedy Studies Program, which is a semester at Second City in Chicago from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you study body movement, voice, musical theater, improv, acting, context for comedy, history, like all of it. And one day we had to do a workshop for musical comedy, and that was the worst. And then we had to do one day where we did stand-up. And I have never felt myself from above myself and looked down.
I
to
know.
that
You
moment.
left your body and went,
And,
I'm just going to watch from
I know
the
what
And
you
I
mean.
knew every single. There was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
14 people, and they were all my classmates, and they all had to do it too. And I was just like, I'm
But
gonna
it's out
die.
of your comfort zone. I totally
Right.
get
And I
it.
was like floating above
So
me,
you
like
stand
just stop and then get off the stage.
Stop. Now, see, I love both stand-up, but I'm also a musical comedy person. I've done a lot of musicals, and usually, like Showboat. I've done Queenie, the part of Queenie who sings, Can't Help Loving That Man, like 5 times. So if somebody called tomorrow and said, hey, can you do Queenie? Yeah, I remember the line.
Cool.
Where'd Joe at? Get me a Joe, I'll do it. But, it's that kind of thing where you feel comfortable. But I don't know about your academy. It's like 8 days a week. 7 days a week, and then you got the...
Well, it was part of it's considered a semester
Okay.
for like an acting student at Columbia. And
Okay.
now Columbia is the first school they just made. You can go to Columbia now and major in comedy studies. As if you needed another reason to be terrified about getting a job when you graduated.
Exactly.
You can study
And another
comedy
reason for your
studies.
parents to go, what?
And but like having said that, I would do it in a heartbeat if I
You
was
know what?
younger.
I think I would too.
But it's just like the most amazing thing
Yeah.
because they're getting taken so seriously.
Just to
and
have
they
that
should.
foundation, to
But-
know that you've gotten it from the very bottom, to know whatever happens in your lifetime, you got the basics. You got the basics. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so.
Ay,
So Gravity is still #1 at the box
I
office.
loved it. Who loved it?
I
Did you
haven't
see it?
seen it.
Okay, wait. Did you hate it?
I hate
Okay, wait. Did you like?
I haven't
oh
seen
my,
it.
Okay, so
No
I'm
spoilers.
Counterpoint.
Okay, wait. So I'm
Gravity.
driving to San Diego last night, and I'm taking the feature act with where she's driving with me, and we got in a discussion about Gravity, and she happens to be an evangelical Christian, so apparently they don't believe in stuff like that. It's
No,
God-
wait. They don't
Wait.
believe in what?
I don't-
Floating in
I-
space?
I think so. It's the God
believe
particle.
in mixing
They don't
with other
believe
cultures to save a life.
I know. The God particle. It's something, I didn't get it all. I'm like, really?
Okay.
Really? She goes, it was a stupid movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't breathe. I had to take off my 3D glasses to center myself.
I couldn't breathe either. I mean, I'm with
Yeah.
you there. Like, I was like, for the rest of the day, my chest was really tight. It was
Wow.
really shallow.
Yeah. Because if you've ever been on an airplane and just looked out your window and saw that, especially at night when you can look up and go, man, how many more miles before we'd be close to outer space? It's that feeling of being up that close and knowing that, and having her go through and him go through what they were going through, and it really put an elephant on your chest. And I guess I enjoyed the fact that it took me out of reality.
Right. I loved the effects in the trailer that I saw.
That was I mean, I would
Beautifully
see
done.
it for the effects alone.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I would say.
Story is where I was like, okay, everybody.
the story's been done and done. That's a cookie
Well,
cutter
for
story.
me, it was like, oh, I'm a smooth talking astronaut, and I'm a nerdy medical astronaut.
I know.
And then they were like, oh, we're gonna go together.
I
And then he was
know.
like, oh no, we're not both gonna make it. Smell you later.
Smell you later.
Like, died.
You know
And
what?
then
Thanks for that.
Here's the problem I have with it. It just quit Hollywoodizing stuff. Now we know when people go into space, stuff sticks up. Your hair, white folks' hair, does like our
That's why
hair
yours
in
was
space.
short.
It was short, but it still should have been on end. It wouldn't have been that pretty bob that she had. Oh, good. I'm sitting there going, wait for her hair to stick up. I'm taking off my glasses. When is her hair going to stick up? And what is she doing in boy shorts in space? Then people sorry. When you get anywhere near cold, when you're up in an airplane and it's chilly, you know when they go up in space, they got thermal long johns on.
In Sandy's, and I'm gonna call her Sandy.
Sandy, you're on a Sandy
Sandy's
basis.
And
She
in
was
the costuming defense, we don't know how insulated and thick those suits are. I mean, that could be hellish, and I don't want to be in.
You're in
jammies.
space. You're in space. So I watched Apollo, and I'm old enough. Them Apollo people, they got thick, long johns on. When you get anywhere close to, you go up in a hot air balloon.
Science has advanced.
You know, the only reason I could see her in them boy shorts is if she would have hit the midlife crisis and the menopause. I would see her up in space like that. But still, the hair would be sticking
You don't
out.
know her struggles.
don't
She
know her
could be.
struggles.
She could be. in menopause.
I didn't buy that. I didn't buy the
You know,
boy
Scarlett
shorts.
Johansson was almost in that film last time.
As what?
as her character.
Oh my God, her lips would have blown up.
She passed or something, and then they approached.
You know what? I'm kind of glad they did because this woman pulled it off.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of buzz.
She pulled it off. And you know what? She led the film. I'm so glad to see somebody over 40, a female over 40 in a freaking film.
It's so weird to see a movie with George Clooney and he's not like the big
I know
draw.
When he like floated off, I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, he died.
Yeah. And then something happened. And then when I'm like, what the hell? And then it was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it again in IMAX, I think.
Oh, you didn't see it in IMAX?
I saw it in 3D.
Yeah, IMAX 3D. I saw it in IMAX 3D.
I saw, well, apparently there's 2 different IMAXs. There's IMAX 3D, then there's, no, I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it in 3D, regular 3D, in a big old theater. And I was like, there's nobody around me. And it's almost things where you want a crowd because you just feel so alone watching this huge screen.
During the film, she can't breathe and her oxygen is running out, so she's gasping.
Yes.
So you're gasping.
Yes.
And then I found out when I wear the 3D glasses, if you tilt your head a little bit, everything goes blurry. Like I have to be straight on.
Oh.
So I was like getting really dizzy.
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh!
What is she looking at? Oh no! And then I couldn't breathe. So when I got home, I was like,
I was so scared of space. I didn't realize there's that much space debris in space.
So
there's a lot.
Obviously, space is called space because there's a lot of it. Like we don't understand.
Yeah.
But then being there and realizing Sandy was like not even, you have no idea the distance between her and something else.
Yes.
And I was like,
spatially it was very difficult.
It's so terrible.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So much depth.
And yet
so many satellites up there too.
And yet we are still in our own little. I just look at us and people go, do you believe in aliens? Heck yeah, I believe in aliens because
I
think
it's God that I believe in. Why would he just create
sense.
humans and quit? I think we're the special.
What are all those planets for?
You know what? I think we're on a cul-de-sac and we're the special planet. With the hit, and there are higher forms of life that we can't even deal with. We can't contemplate.
It's too arrogant to believe.
It is.
Yeah,
and that's the way I feel about it. I wouldn't consider myself a traditionally religious person.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not arrogant enough to believe that we are it.
No. And I really think that they got us like in a kitty playpen. This Earth is a kitty playpen. It's pretty, it's blue, there's shiny thing because we can't deal with what is out there. And I think there are fabulous, amazing things out there. I mean, again, when we die, I want to know where we go when we die. I wonder if there's something.
There's this book that this guy wrote, and he's a psychotherapist, and he puts people under, just hypnotizes them. And it's people that sometimes had near-death experiences, and other times they're just coming in, and they talk about their past lives and when they died and what happened after that and who they saw, and it started all the stories.
I want to get
different people.
I want to get
the
the name
same.
of this book.
I don't remember what it was called.
I believe I've been here before. Now, I believe I have walked this earth before, and I believe I've been different ethnicities and genders because I've traveled a lot as a comic. I've been all over the world working, and when there's weirdness, when you get somewhere and you get that chill that you've been there before and you haven't, something that's that part of that, we only use 10% of our brain, and I think that's that part of your brain scratching going, you've been here, Wanks, you've been here. And I believe, even though I'm Baptist, Southern Baptist, and my mother would think she thinks it's crazy, no, there was just no reincarnation. I think there is something to it. And you know what? I think I got reborn. When I got reborn this time, I didn't get in the right line. Because in heaven, I think there's a whole, just a really long line of white dudes, powerful. And I think color goes white male, always on the top, to the darkest female on the bottom. And I think I saw that 10 items or less line full of black women with big butts and just ran and came to me and born. And I've been shat on by everybody. There's that color, politics, gender. It's horrible. I hope I don't get to come back at this. I can't be a black woman again. This is too rough.
You should be a white man.
That's where I think I was. You know, I think I wasn't. Sometimes I wonder, was I Hitler? The way I've been treated sometimes. Was I Hitler in a past life?
That's
the way people treat me
I wondered
sometimes?
that myself. Like, who was I?
I had to have been a powerful white man.
I had to be a piece of shit.
Because people treat me so bad sometimes.
I know.
You don't even know me.
I mean, I've had my fair share of being shat on figuratively.
Yeah.
obviously.
Not literally.
Not literally.
Never.
Oh
literally.
no!
Not thus.
That's really.
That's a different subject.
I will jump out of the way of that. I'm not taking food.
I think last was probably just like a Detroit factory worker that just like did their own thing, like really tried their hardest, did what was best.
And that's why you're here as a beautiful white woman. I think I was
I'm like
horrible.
racking karma points, like doing what I was supposed to,
doing
what I was supposed to, and keep punching the time
and
card.
you got in the pretty line. And like, I'm coming back as a beautiful white woman. I went, give me that short line. Let me be born. Oh shit, I'm black and blah. I do believe in reincarnation, and I hope we come. I think we come back and learn lessons each time.
I grew up in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a minority because I'm white. And my best friend growing up was black, and I didn't realize that people were different, that black and white were treated differently until her like 3rd or 4th grade birthday party. She didn't invite me because I was white.
Aww.
And that's when I that's when I understood.
Really, she couldn't. Now,
no, she could. She just didn't.
Wow. See, I got invited. I grew up in Oklahoma, a small town, Pawhuska. I got invited to my first birthday party by a little white guy, and it was very weird because I didn't get it I didn't know because I'm just a little kid. Come to find out later that when I've kept in touch with this guy, really cool guy, Greg Spencer, told me how much trouble his parents got in for inviting a little Negro child in a town of like 5,000 people to his. He had a hoedown in a barn with hay and everything, and I didn't realize that people were like staying away from me because I was black, and and I ain't even, who would want a little this chocolate? I ain't black, I'm chocolate. When you want some of that rubbed off on you on occasion, maybe just a little. It washes
white chocolate.
They do now. Back in the day, growing up in a small town like that, it was
even
difficult.
In my town, the same thing. Like it just wasn't. I hung out with a lot of African American kids. And they would be younger than me too,
Where are you from?
Which was weird. Georgia.
Oh, you Southern, but there are.
And we would hang out together. And we'd like scope out this haunted house or this thing that we thought was a haunted house with a pitchfork-shaped tree in the ditch in the yard. And we got like stuck in the ditch. It was horrible. And I dropped the cat. Fell in there, and I had to go get the cat.
What you find out is that if you leave kids alone, they will play. It's the parents that cause but it's slowly but surely it's changing, but it's still pretty prevalent. It's just where you are.
Well, okay, I grew up in San Antonio. Mexican was white as far as I knew. You know what I mean? Like
Mexico was white.
There was no difference. Like,
Exactly.
And it was always like, I have a crush on a boy. Okay, well, tell me about him. Okay, well, he's white. Like, you had to say his ethnicity because...
you had to start the
same thing.
conversation.
Yeah. Same thing with my family. They'd be like, is he black? Is he...
No,
and it wasn't like is he... It was like okay, here's part of him. He is white. He is Mexican.
Here's my dossier.
Yeah. And then I
or when you describe people, you have to
that's
say...
what you do. And I went to Texas A&M, and I would say that to my roommates, like, okay, so I like this guy. He's white. And they would laugh, and I'd be like, oh, why is that funny? Like, it's...
Yeah.
And then... there was a lot of hate crimes against Middle Eastern kids, and it's a engineering school, and it's probably the most conservative college in the country. I think is what I heard. But there was a lot of backlash to the people that were doing these hate crimes, and people were because at A&M it's like a cult, and so when there's a group of people that are friends with whomever. They'll step forward and
that's good.
Forming like literal and figurative like human chain to separate. Sure. So it's been. I mean, it there's good and bad, and it's crazy.
It is. It is, and I'm glad to be. All I can say is I'm glad to be living in this age, no matter with my gender and color, because I can't imagine what it would have been like.
I can't imagine like the 1800s, like being around then.
That people have time capsules. They put on Facebook, if you could get in a time capsule and come out in another, where would you come? And I always go, no. You never see black people joining in on that, and then white people be like, "Ooh, I'd go back to Victorian time. Ooh, I go back to the time. I'm gonna stay right where I am.
I'm staying
anywhere I'm getting out, and this color is not going to be happy."
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to the early 1900s when we didn't have any rights at all. None of us.
When
we were just property.
When I was younger, I was like, I'm a strong woman. woman? And I was like 8, probably. Because
Ah.
my dad was always very like feminist, and my parents are divorced. So whenever I'd be like, when I grow up and I'm gonna get married, but I was like, no, you're gonna talk about what you're gonna be when you grow up, not who you're
Dad.
gonna. Yeah.
Oh,
So I
that's
bought
sweet.
this book
Yeah.
at the book fair, and it was like top 10 great women in history. And I bought it for that's what I wanted to read. But one of the women, she was a Native American. Her name, I don't remember her first name. Her last name was Mankiller.
Whoa.
And it was
Love
the
that.
funniest thing when I
I
was
want
like
the name
8.
of that
I was
book.
like, what?
I want the name of that book. Yeah, but Man
She
Killer
was
is a.
like, I'm
That's
sure
a good
men didn't
Indian
feel
name.
threatened
Yeah.
at all by her.
You know, it's speaking of Indian people. There's so many of us. I presume you guys might have a little Indian. in you.
Yeah.
I have enough to be on the Creek Roll, and yet because my grandmother's father, he's one of 8 kids. He's the last of 8 kids. Half of his siblings are on the Creek Roll. The other half is not on the roll. Guess who's don't have a number? And that means I gotta have health care and all that other stuff. I've got enough blood in me, Indian blood, to be getting services that I can't get. And it's because back in the day, that miscegenation thing, it was frowned upon. Yeah, blacks and Indians didn't want it known that they were married. My grandmother's grandparents was a full-on black woman and a full-blood Creek Indian. And we're in this day and age where Indians are trying to kick black people off the roll, and this, that, and the other. Even though it's crazy.
Well, the natives and the black people have a lot in common from what was stolen from them, their culture.
This is sure,
You know?
yeah, sure. We were brought over here, and then they were on their own land, and they got taken away from them.
It's even.
I was in Japan, and I how people travel and everything, and I happen to be in Osaka, and I traveled to Kyoto and a couple other places, and I was fascinated by the people there that looked like American Indians, full on Japanese.
Because that's how
They came across the Bering Strait. Mongolian.
Eskimo is like a really not a PC term.
Inuit. Wait,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Eskimo or Inuit? I can't.
Inuit.
Like us, they keep changing us every generation too. We was
Yeah,
colored, then we was Negro, then we was black, then we was African American.
Right.
I went to Africa and I found out I'm not even that. I am Negroidian. That is what I am.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is we were having that conversation when I was at work, and I was like, what do black people in England?
Yeah.
What's the PC term? They're English.
That's right. And we are just Americans.
Idris Elba is English.
I went to Africa, and if we all 3 got off a plane right now, we would be the same color, money. So I realized I'm not African American. I'm just Negroidian. It says Negro on my birth certificate, and I just put the Groidian on because I like Armenian people. So yeah, that's why I had
That's
to do
why
it.
I never say African American. I always just say black, white. Like
Yeah,
if I'm
I
white,
love to say
you're
black.
like
I say I'm brown.
I'm not Caucasian.
Yeah.
I've never seen Caucasian.
I really, I look at that in the Crayola box.
I'm
It's
actually
never-
Irish and Welsh and Scottish.
That's
so.
all under the
And Cherokee.
lighter color.
And Cherokee, yeah.
And it's a Cherokee.
I'm French, but we landed.
I have French in there.
We landed like my great grandfather or something landed in Galveston from France, escaping Napoleon's nephew's army.
Wow.
Awesome.
And then they like spread across the bottom of Texas, and like my great grandfather was a sheriff that fought Pancho Villa. So if
Cool.
anything, I'm like Texan.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
So it's.
I would love to
hard
hear
for
that
me.
out of Moth story.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I love hearing stories like that. That's awesome.
I'm a product of one of the illegitimate children of Henry VIII. So,
Awesome.
Really?
so
I'm the
it's
product
not
of that.
technically like legally like,
I'm somewhere in the Trail
Explain.
of Tears. That's all I know.
but yeah, there was a lot of
There was a lot of
speculation about
A lot of stuff going on there.
about this guy
yeah.
who started my whole Edwards line of my mother on my mother's
Oh,
side.
very cool.
So
Yeah.
Richard Edwards.
There's
and
some
then
serious
on.
history. As you know,
And then also on my dad's side, William Latham came on the Mayflower. So
Oh, cool.
that was pretty cool. He was
and
like
my
the
people were
first
probably
one.
on there with him too,
Yeah.
going, God,
Yeah.
the Lathams have it easy up there.
No, it's a Welsh name. It means the barn. So
I know some Lathams actually. They used to write. They gave me one of my first parts first roles on Knots Landing in Dallas. They were Lynn Latham and Bernard Leckowick.
I've looked them up.
Yeah.
I look up a lot of.
I don't know
them.
what happened to them. They used to live in Los Feliz, and it was very cool.
Yeah, I always wonder who I'm related to
Yeah.
on IMDb.
Yeah, you could be, because she's a tall woman.
Yeah, there are also a lot of black Lathams as well, and Lathans. Stan Lathan.
I love that, Lathan.
So Lathan all came from like Lathan.
It's like there's a lot of Chappelle's. I'm not related to Dave because he has.
That's exactly what she like. Why would I automatically assume that?
What's that?
Why would I assume that just because you had the same?
Oh, everybody does though. They're like, wait, no, not you. But when people come over here and go, they go, Katsy Chappell, any relation? And I go, no, he has an E on the end of his name, which is worth millions and full of crazy. That's exactly. I wish I had that E on. No, nice guy and everything like that. But no, I don't know where his rhyme is, and I don't even know if we had an E and dropped it. But we're the Southern Chappelles. We're the post Chappelles.
Yeah. I'm the poor Latham.
We had money. They had a plumbing business in Galveston, and then the great hurricane of like 1901 came and washed everything away.
Man.
And we had a French last name, and they were like, we want to be more American.
Sure.
So we'll change it to Gay. So they changed the last name to Gay.
So gay.
And my mom's real name is Kyle. So my mom had to grow up with the name Kyle Gay.
Your mom was like, I thought Kyle was a relatively new baby name. Mm-hmm. You're saying your mom's name was Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle's a men's name. She was named after her grandfather.
That is cool. That's very cool. Well, I guess our little claim to fame is my grandmother's grandparents. The grandfather went into town to get a loan on the farm because they were destitute. And while he was gone a couple of days, Jesse James and his gang showed up on our on the property, and it's gone down through history, in our history. And there needs to be a movie made about it because there's a picture of a family shown 20 years later in finery clothing, and they didn't have that kind of money. And the word is that he left a large sum of money to he left it there when he called my great-great-great-grandmother Auntie. He goes, Auntie, you know who we are? She goes, yes. And she had 8 kids, and my grandmother's father was the youngest, hiding under the bed. He was 4. And they stayed there, and they took a couple of horses. They were hiding out because they were robbing all over the place. And when they left, he said, we're going to take care of you. And 20 years later, my grandmother's father's full grown, and a family portrait of the 8 kids and the 2 parents sitting there in finery, like what wealthy people took portraits, and it's in our family, and it lends a lot of credence to the story that Jesse James robbed a lot, but there was that Robin Hood aspect where he dropped a lot of money, and probably amongst minority people who couldn't.
Didn't the mobster in Chicago, the most famous mobster ever,
Al Capone?
Yeah, he was the same way.
I think Al Capone. Who's the one? Bonnie and Clyde. They came through Pawhuska, Oklahoma. They stayed where I grew up. They stayed in like a hotel in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. I'm like, that is so cool.
I was just thinking that.
Like, there's been tsunamis over and like floods, like horrible floods, and the only people that have given aid are organized crime.
Wow.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Because they had the money and the means, and they didn't have to like go through bureaucracy, and they just were giving food.
Yeah.
And
man.
They're the only. So it's like, I get it. I mean, there's an argument. You could argue that government is organized crime.
Yeah. It is organized crime.
So,
as is the Catholic Church, the biggest organized crime. With that's why I'm Baptist. On our doctrine, on the Southern Baptist doctrine, it's. I think they may have just gotten rid of it, but up until recently, y'all had the ability to own me, own slaves. Yep. Really? In the new millennium, you could go. Come here, Negro. Plant that corn.
Yeah.
So things are changing slowly but surely.
On that note,
yes,
we're gonna wrap up with you guys and get your Twitter and all that stuff.
This has been a heavy conversation.
But it's important
to
have
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's even more awkward when it's heavy.
Oh, yeah. Many people turn out. Woo! What happened there? I don't care.
See gravity.
I don't care, Lauren Michaels.
To
you
wrap up.
like your porn and white women. There you go.
Okay, you guys want to promote anything?
I don't want these people finding me after what I've said.
It'll get you more acclaim.
It's like a Katsy Chappell. Like they can't
You'll
look
be
me
infamous.
I know they'll be waiting at my front door when I go home. And That's all right. I'm going to bingo. I'm not going home.
I love bingo.
They have 11.
Shout out to bingo.
$11.99 games where you can win $1,199. I don't know why they can't do $1,200, but for some reason in LA you can only be up $11.99. I guess.
That's
So
weird.
yeah, you go and you plunk
Uneven.
down $20 or $30, and that's your evening of entertainment. And then you win. You don't. That's all you spend, and you're gonna spend that when you go out to party with drinks and stuff, right? So it's just.
Did you want to promote anything?
I promoted bingo. No.
Watch The Neighbors on ABC.
Oh, you on there?
I'm a writer's assistant on the show.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Ant Farm.
Shout out to the neighbors.
Thank
Shout
you,
out to the
thank
neighbors.
you, neighbors. Thank you, Disney. Ant Farm Recess broke up, but we are coming together for a show in 2014.
Oh, cool.
I don't know exactly when.
Ant Farm
Recess.
Ant Farm Recess. I like that.
Yeah, we were a group that came together when we all moved here, and then we all wanted things so bad, and our lives weren't going the way that they like. There's just so many of us, and people want to control it, so we all had to kind of take a break from each other.
Sure.
Yeah, me too.
So we had like a get together last week, and we were all like, "Mom and Dad are getting back together.
Oh,
Like, I think we're gonna have a show." You guys.
Well, yeah, on my group status, we're still on hiatus, but hopefully we'll be back to sourcing it up pretty soon.
Well, I don't have any sketch, but I'm a quilter, and I've been doing my stand-up with my crafts in Quilt Guild, so people can find me on Southern California Quilt Guild website, and of course the Facebook, that Facebook crap, who does that? Or that Twitter thing, on the Twitter.
Oh, I'm at Crafty Katy. There's a good story. When I was 8, I got my started in show business because I was in an arts and crafts video called Crafty Cats.
Cool.
And I taught how to make pop-up cards. So I'm not complimenting myself by being Crafty Katy. I'm just paying
homage.
Yeah, to
That's
my roots.
cool.
So,
Awesome.
Let's go. I'm on YouTube with a video. I got down some kind of YouTube rabbit hole, and I don't know how I found it.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is people are using stat to grow their hair, and so I got these little spots right here from where I used to have a weave, and it would pull on this right here. So I went and I got coupons off of everything, and I went and bought me a tube of Monostat. Never needed it for my basement part. Marched right in that store to buy it for my head, and so I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to follow.
How would you discover,
That was my question. That was my question. I'm like, did some Mr. Clean looking dude come up from
like the Preparation H,
does wrinkles.
Exactly.
So I'm seeing some dude came up looking like Mario, and they went, oh, there's something to this, because dudes are using console nitrate, and it's growing their hair better than Rogaine and stuff.
On that note, you can reach me on YouTube at aka Elle Latham. I have some cool videos on there of my work, and also I'm going to start doing poetry. Thanks again, guys, for listening to this super awkward fun cast, supersized super awkward fun cast. And thanks to Katy Baker, Katsy Chappell, and Rye Silverman for stopping by. Here is the song I am leading out with tonight by my friend Claire Means, who is on iTunes and Amazon with this album, War for Love. Here is Georgette. Thank you.
You're dragging a suitcase the size of a coffin. They'll offer you rides, you insist on walking. You'll have it your way, or nothing at all. You're smiling through a broken grin. You never did want those spaces filled. You'll have it your way, or nothing at all. Oh, Georgette, make me brave, brave like you. 'Cause I'm just doing what they tell me. Oh, Georgette, I'll be brave, brave like you.